let me ask you this. How logical do you think you are? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you stand? If you're like most people, you may see yourself at around an 8 or maybe even a 9. But the truth might surprise you. Dan Ariely, who is an expert in psychology and behavioral economics, says that we are not the rational thinkers we fancy ourselves to be. In fact, we are not only irrational, but we are predictably irrational. Yes, you heard right. Neuroscience proves that our emotions profoundly influence our decisions, problem solving, and learning. Emotions are like the unseen puppet masters. They pull the strings of how we react, what we pay attention to, and the way we process information, often in ways we don't even realize. The thing is, we're often unaware of how our emotions are influencing us. So regardless of how intelligent or capable we believe we are, our emotions significantly affect all aspects of our personal and professional lives. Picture this. You're feeling really good. Everything's going well for you today. In this happy and optimistic state, you are more likely to focus on the positive aspects of any situation and ignore any potential problems. But conversely, if anxiety were to creep in, you would then tend to focus on the negative aspects while ignoring the positives. A typical example of this is how we react to feedback. When we're feeling down, we may focus only on negative feedback and ignore or devalue any positive aspects of the feedback we get. And when we're feeling optimistic or happy, we would tend to focus on the positives and ignore the negative feedback. Ever noticed how your mood affects your shopping? You will be more likely to make impulsive purchases if you're feeling really happy or sad. So next time you want to buy something on an impulse, check how you're feeling. The next example of how emotions influence our daily life is that we tend to be more risk-averse when we are anxious or stressed. So we would choose to save rather than invest or spend during times of economic uncertainty. Anxiety can also make us avoid new or unfamiliar experiences because we can perceive them as risky, even when there is no real danger. On the other hand, confidence and happiness makes us more open to these same challenges. Our emotions also influence how we view different options and situations, and even our sense of fairness. For instance, if you're feeling particularly generous, you may be more willing to compromise. But if you're feeling frustrated or slighted, even a fair deal might seem unfair to you. We may think we are being logical when we make these decisions, but they are all primarily emotion-based. So yes, we are emotional beings first and rational beings only second. I used to consider myself quite rational until I began to understand how our brains function. Our brains are like a high-tech web, attaching emotions to our past experiences and our future expectations, often without us noticing. These attachments the brain makes are very powerful and form the basis for our everyday experiences. So, for example, suppose early in your career, you led a project that didn't go as well as you expected. Let's say you proposed an innovative strategy that unfortunately didn't lead to the desired results. The experience left you feeling a mix of negative emotions like disappointment, embarrassment, or even fear. Now, fast forward a few years, and you're faced with a similar project. Unknowingly to you, your brain connects the two situations, stirring up those old feelings and so making you reluctant to be innovative, even when logic says, go for it. On the other hand, imagine you had successfully led the project in the past. You had taken a risk, it paid off, and you felt that rush of success. So now when you're faced with a similar new project. You might be more inclined to take risks, even when it's not logical. In both cases, your brain is playing mix and match with your past emotions and current situation. So it's no exaggeration to say our emotions and thoughts influence everything about us. They are the driving force of all our experiences, be it our successes or failures. That's why understanding emotions and thoughts is key. Then you can harness their power to live your best life.